About a year ago, I was surprisingly let go from my job for a number of years, worship pastor at a local church, and there's a transition and a handful of people got laid off, and I can't say that the layoff was 100% a surprise, because there was just because of the transition there was change in the air, but I've been saying it was mostly a surprise. So a really interesting thing happened even in the context of the layoff. In the meeting I was being laid off in, I just had this real sense of being honestly carried by the Lord. Almost like you have those moments where you feel like you're sort of watching yourself or observing yourself. I had a little bit of a moment like that, even in the meeting of them telling me I was no longer going to be employed. And I in that moment, I felt like the Lord spoke a handful of things to me. And as I walked out the progressive weeks, there just was this real sense of grace surrounding me and my family in that time. And again, just having this real sense of being carried by the Lord. And then in particular, people were asking me, asking me how I was doing and these sorts of things. People were reaching out to me via social media and text and the like. And a friend of mine asked me later in that first week how things were going. And I just found myself texting him those words. I just found myself being carried by the Lord. And doors were opening to me for a new future, and that's really was part of the provision that this sense of being carried sort of embodied, really. And anyway, as I was texting my friend, and I had a couple moments like this, I typed the word, I just feel carried by the Lord, and then I looked at the text, and I just got hit just by a sense of just a wave of emotion and a sense of the Holy Spirit on it. Like I felt like I was kind of even prophesying to myself in this whole thing, that this is really what's happening to you right now, is I've got you and I'm carrying you through this. Just as those sorts of endings happen to us in life, many times there's this transition, we're not sure what's happening. I think there can be a real sense of the Lord's nearness in those moments. But so much was starting to happen. There's this kind of swirl of activity, of new opportunity and new chapters and seasons opening up, and even a sense of dreams that have been not exactly dormant, but kind of like something that I've held in my heart for years, starting to maybe come into focus in this new season. So I started to have this picture just as I was sort of fleshing out this this sense of being carried, that it wasn't just that I was being carried, but the Lord was actually running. So many of us, I think, can relate to the idea of we trust God, and then sometimes our trust gets put to the test. Like, so in this sense of feeling carried, but also the Lord running, my running joke was in that time, I hope he doesn't drop me. So there's an element of complete trust, like when you're being carried by someone, like maybe when you're a baby or something, you're literally at their mercy. You're literally putting all your faith and trust in them, and just in the honest moments with if you're being carried by somebody and they're running, you get a little nervous. So so I just had this sense of, and now I'm a full year from that season of my life, and it's been a year of just of renaissance, really, for me, in many ways, creatively, spiritually, and I find myself in a crazy different place than I thought I would have been, but it all started from this place of kind of the ending of a chapter, and then the Lord's presence just kind of scooping me up and really running into this new season. I was with a group of songwriters in Cannon Beach, Oregon, in mid-February last year, just a few weeks after I got this news of the layoff and the like, and had already been chewing on this idea of feeling carried, and I just sort of brought that idea into the songwriting session, and this song birthed itself with me and my co-writer Chris McQueen. Yeah, just sort of, it's just one of those songs that, in some regard, kind of wrote itself. And so, as a songwriter, I think we do well by paying attention to what the Lord is working in our own lives and trying to put words and melody to those things. I think those things are super real and super important, because for us, as we work out our own walk with the Lord and our own creative journey, but many times those experiences are more universal, and the things that we put our hands to creatively can bear fruit and be a real sense of healing and comfort for others, and really really carry a sense of the Lord's presence even with them. So it's more than just nice ideas and words. I believe that songs can actually, the Bible talks about the Lord inhabiting the praises of his people. I think there's really a sense where there's some mystery to the gift of music and melody and lyric, that literally the presence of the Lord rides on those things. So yeah, just trying to be faithful to walk those things out. And this song has meant a lot to me, and hopefully it does to you as well. That's the story of You're Carrying Me.